What's up, y'all? Nick the Brick Lord here. Today I have in front of me BrickDesigners Armored Police Truck. This LEGO model is built with BrickDesigners Printed Parts Pack, which as of the making of this video, is still available on their website for $52. That will get you the instructions for the model as well as all the printed pieces. However, you will need to source the rest of the parts on your own through BrickLink. While BrickDesigners doesn't say what this model is based on, it seems to be heavily inspired by the Bearcat. The Bearcat is a retrofit of a U.S. military surplus vehicle, which was commissioned by the Los Angeles Police Department. This iconic SWAT vehicle is now used by law enforcement agencies all around the world. Not being based on one particular vehicle, it's hard to say whether this vehicle is really minifigure scale. If it is based on the Bearcat, then the model is a bit larger than minifigure scale. However, there are plenty of larger SWAT vehicles out there, like the Bearcat's big brother, the Bear. So this vehicle doesn't seem out of place next to minifigures. Although it will dwarf smaller city vehicles, unless you're like me and use 6-stud wide vehicles in your city. The SWAT truck features opening doors and an opening hatch. The front doors are a little tricky to close, but not too difficult once you get the hang of it. The roof is not designed to be taken off, so the only access to the interior is through the doors and the hatch. That being said, there isn't much to look at in the interior. There are some brown slope pieces at the front to represent the driver and passenger seats, and that's about it. You can sit some figs at the back if you want, but it will be a bit of a challenge to get them in there. The biggest disappointment is that there's no way to stand minifigures in the hatch. It wouldn't be too hard to add a few pieces yourself to make this happen, but it's kind of unfortunate that it's not already a feature. I can't gripe too much about the features because custom models like this are about looks more than anything. This is definitely a display model, not a playset. There are a couple of parts on this model that tend to get knocked off easily, like the antennas at the back or the sidebars here that are only held on by one stud. However, the main body of the build is pretty sturdy and won't fall apart when you're holding it. Overall, this build, especially with the printed parts, looks amazing. It definitely has that imposing SWAT truck feel and looks great with a squad of SWAT minifigures. One thing I don't care for is some of the gaps around the hatch and just how much the windows stick out from the rest of the model. But I do think the model is somewhat saved by the black color palette, which makes those quirks much less noticeable. Now, if you haven't noticed, I switched out the original black wheels for gray ones. At first, this was due to the parts I had in my collection, but when I compared it to the original black, I actually like them in gray more. With the gray wheels, the Technic pin in the front no longer stands out, and I think the gray wheels give a nice contrast to the otherwise completely black model. The build process was fairly straightforward. There weren't any sections where I had to really think about what I was doing. The side panels to the body were a bit fragile coming together, but once the roof was on, I didn't have any more issues. Finally, the price for this set is not too bad at all. Most of the parts are pretty common, and I only spent $60 total on this, including the printed parts. If you don't have a large parts collection like I do, you'll probably want to save around $40 to pick up the remaining 273 parts. So in total, you should be able to build the printed version of this model for $90, which is a good price in my opinion. If you want to pick up the printed parts pack, I would highly encourage doing so soon. BrickDesigners usually does limited runs on these, and they don't tend to last very long. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the printed parts pack is worth $50? Would this fit in your LEGO city? I'll catch you guys in the next one.